Okay, just imagine for a second trying to run a country that's spread out across more than 7,000 islands. I mean, how do you even start to connect all of that? Today, we're going to unpack the Philippines' really ambitious plan to do exactly that by building a world-class shipping industry. And they're doing it with a fascinating mix of big-time financial rewards and some very serious non-negotiable rules.
Seriously, it's a massive logistical puzzle when your entire nation is an archipelago, moving people, moving goods, moving resources. That's not just some business challenge. No, it's the absolute lifeblood of the country's economy, its culture, and really, its very survival.
And that's why, for the Philippines, having a strong domestic shipping industry isn't just an advantage, it's the #1 priority. It is the national lifeline. Think of it like the circulatory system that keeps every single part of the country connected and alive.
So how do you solve a problem on that kind of scale? Well, you create a blueprint, and that's what the Philippine government did. It formalized its strategy to tackle this whole thing head-on with a really comprehensive master plan for the entire industry.
That plan is officially called Republic Act 9295, or the Domestic Shipping Development Act of 2004. Now, don't let the name fool you. This is not just some dry piece of legislation. It's better to think of it as the architectural drawing for a totally revitalized maritime nation, one designed to build a modern, competitive, and proudly Filipino-owned fleet from the ground up.
And the goals here are incredibly ambitious. We're talking about building a modern and safe fleet, pulling in a ton of private investment, making sure these shipping companies can actually survive in the long run, promoting local ownership, and this one's huge, developing a world-class shipbuilding and repair industry right there at home.
To make all this happen, the government is using that classic carrot and stick approach. So first, let's look at the carrots. These are the powerful incentives designed to make investing in Philippine shipping a really attractive idea.
And the biggest carrot of them all? A 0% value-added tax, or VAT. This is a huge deal in an industry where everything costs a fortune. This tax exemption applies to importing or even locally buying ships over 150 gross tons, which is just a way of measuring a ship's internal space, plus their engines and all the essential safety gear. This immediately and dramatically lowers the cost to get started and to modernize.
The next carrot is a little more technical, but it's just as powerful. We're talking about accelerated depreciation. So in simple terms, this is a tax benefit that lets a company deduct the cost of a brand new ship from its taxable income way faster, up to twice the normal speed. This just makes those huge new investments more affordable, and critically, it frees up cash flow.
And to make investors feel a little more secure, the plan also includes a financial safety net. It's called NLCO. Basically, if a shipping company has a bad year and loses money, it can carry over that loss to offset profits for the next 3 years. This reduces its future tax bill. It's a cushion, really, that encourages people to take risks and make those long-term investments.
But these carrots, they come with a condition, and it's one that directly pushes for a modern fleet. See, to qualify for all these great incentives, an imported ship can't be ancient. The government set some pretty strict age limits. 15 years for a standard passenger or cargo ship, 10 for a tanker, and just 5 years for one of those high-speed passenger crafts. The message is crystal clear. We want new, we want safe, and we want efficient vessels.
Okay, so now for the other side of this strategy. If the carrots are all about encouraging investment, the sticks are all about enforcing the rules and making sure public safety comes first.
Right, so you can't just buy a ship and start sailing. Operators need a special license called a Certificate of Public Convenience, or CPC. And getting one means you have to meet 3 core demands. First, your company has to be at least 60% Filipino-owned. Second, you have to prove you have the money to actually run a safe and reliable service. And third, you have to show that your proposed route is actually going to benefit the community it serves.
The law also recognizes 2 main ways that ships operate. First, there's a liner service. This is basically like a public bus. It runs on a fixed route, with a fixed schedule, and it's available to everybody. Then you have a tramping service, which is more like a taxi or a charter flight. Its routes and rates are all negotiated privately for specific jobs, usually moving big shipments of cargo.
But here's the thing, regardless of how they operate, all ships are subject to these really strict, non-negotiable safety mandates. Every single vessel has to be seaworthy, it's got to have the proper safety and communication gear, it must be staffed by a qualified Filipino crew, and, this is absolutely key for public trust, it has to carry passenger insurance of at least 200,000 pesos per person.
So we've seen the carrots to attract investment, and the sticks to ensure safety and quality. When you put all that together, what's the ultimate vision here? What kind of maritime future is the Philippines really trying to build?
And this is where it gets really interesting, because buried deep within the policy goals of this act is this powerful statement. See, the plan isn't just about economics. It's about national sovereignty. The ultimate vision is a domestic fleet so strong and so modern that it can actually serve as an auxiliary to the Navy and the military in a time of national crisis.
So there you have it. You've got the financial incentives, the strict safety regulations, and this long-term vision that stretches all the way to national security. The blueprint is ambitious, it's detailed, and it really balances profit with the public good. But the big question remains, is this carefully crafted plan enough to truly launch the Philippines as a dominant maritime power, not just in its own waters, but out there on the world stage?